Alright, what is good, ladies and gentlemen, is the Master Ranker back again with another ranking, and today we are doing the final JoJo's Bizarre Adventure ranking until eventually I will have to update all the rankings for when Steel Ball Run finishes, but for now this is going to be the final JoJo ranking that we do. It's actually been a few days since I did the other rankings. I'm back in university now, and I do have a lot of work to do today, but I do have now like about, I think, 4 hours until my roommate comes back, so I do actually want to just get this ranking done with, so I don't have to because it's kind of like just in the back of my mind that I need to get it done. So I'm gonna do it now. Rest of the day I'm gonna have to do homework. So yeah, we are just gonna do this. So yeah, I have all the stands over here from parts 3 to 6, and I do have the names pulled up here as well if I do forget a stand name. So yeah, with that said, let us just begin. So first up, we have, most of these are gonna be from part 6 starting up with, and the first one we have is, I think this is Limp Bizkit. Yeah, Limp Bizkit. This was the stand that Sports Maximum used, and the ability was basically just to revive the dead. Once again, the criteria for this is basically just like how cool I think the stand is and how much I liked its use in the episode. I didn't really like the episode. Like the whole just stuff that had to do with Hermes and her plot of just getting revenge on Sports Maximum I didn't care for. And so just a lot of the stand use was like just the battle between Hermes and Sports Maximum, which I didn't care for. And the stand itself, like bringing back the dead could be a cool ability, but it's just not really used that cool in this case, so I'm just gonna give it D/F tier. Next is Survivor. This is the stand that is apparently the weakest one. However, I actually think the ability is pretty good. It is the same ability that Shinji Hirako from Bleach has, where basically in Bleach, Shinji uses his Bankai. He's able to get a bunch of a bunch of allies. He can turn them into enemies, and vice versa. He can turn enemies into allies and stuff. So this stand basically is just like, it kind of has the same effect where it sends a slight electrical signal to the brain, and then from there it causes like friends to people, like if they are friends, then it just makes people angry, which basically causes them to fight. So I would say the use in the episode, it was fine, I would say, and the ability itself I do like. However, it is used better in Bleach by Shinji, I would say, so I'm just gonna give it C tier. I'm like also being harsher with a lot of these stands than I may have been in the specific part ranking. So yeah, next is another stand from part 6. This one is Planet Waves. This is the one that basically would summon meteors from space that the user could use during combat, and as an ability it's kind of cool, I guess. The use in the actual episode wasn't anything great, so I'm just going to give it probably, I'll give it C tier because the ability itself was like fine, I'll say. By the way, we'll do side style at the end. So next is this one. I forgot the name. It's like Dragon Stream. I think I was being a bit harsh. I forgot what I gave it in the stand ranking for part 6, but actually I really like this one because the use in the episode is just really good. Like I like the fact that it's like a neutral stand. It's technically the stand of Kenzo, but it's realistically, it's like kind of the stand itself. He's like not really helping Kenzo out or FF during their fight. So I did like that. I think the actual stand itself is like, the ability of it, it's not anything too cool. It's like basically it points, it's something to do with feng shui, where basically it points in a certain direction that your opponent's is like weak, like their weak side or something like that. And so yeah, the ability itself I don't really care for, but the stand itself I will give it like B tier just because I actually like the not the personality really, but I guess you could say the personality of the stand. Like the fact that he's neutral, he's not helping out Kenzo, he's also not really helping out FF, but he's like kind of, he's not really helping her out, but he's like definitely like not trying to, he's like not trying to fight her or anything like that, so I like that. So B tier. Yayama, this is, yeah, that's the name of the stand, or I guess the English version, if you don't want to get copyright, I guess it's Yo-Yoma. So yeah, that's weird. So I'm wondering why you can't say the name, but apparently like on YouTube, I guess you could say the name of the song and you won't get copyrighted. So I don't really understand. Yeah, I'm not, I don't understand copyright completely. So anyway, Yayama, I would give it probably, I'll go another B tier because once again, I do have to like take it. I think I was kind of forgetting the factor of like how good the stand was in the episode for the part 6 ranking that I did. Like when I did the part 6 ranking, I was mostly just going off of like how much I liked the stand itself, and I wasn't thinking about it as much like the use of it in the episode. But this was like a good stand. It's a pretty memorable one. It was like a stand that also kind of not similar. It wasn't a neutral stand. It was like still trying to kill Jolene and Anastasia, but this one was like specifically he was trying to help them. Like he was trying to help them escape, I guess. And even if he was ultimately trying to kill them, I thought that was cool. I like the episode with him, and so definitely I will say B tier. This one is, I did not like this one. This was the Green Baby stand, Green Grass of Home. Yeah, I didn't care for this one at all. It basically just shrunk enemies of the Green Baby as they got closer to him. I would give it probably D/F tier. I just didn't care for it at all. The episode itself, I didn't really like that much, and that ability is just not that cool. Jailhouse Lock, I will give this one, I'll go A tier. I really like this one. I'm gonna be generous with it. And yeah, the episode, it was one of the best in Stone Ocean, I would say. Where basically Jolene as well as Emporia, they can only remember 3 things at a time. I thought that was very good. And I thought that, yeah, the ability is cool. The episode as well was very good, and so I'm going to give it A tier, I would say. Bohemian Rhapsody, I would give this one probably, I'll go C tier. It was all right, I would say, like basically bringing cartoons to life. And then when the cartoons would fight either Anastasia or whether Reporter or whoever it was that they were fighting, they would basically, the events of the fight would like kind of follow in the same trajectory as like the original story of whoever it was that they were fighting. So it was all right, I would say. A pretty unique stand from, yeah, it feels a bit more unique than some of the other ones for a show with very unique stands. I would say that this one kind of stood out, especially for Stone Ocean, I guess. Like, it does feel like a very unique stand. Yeah, and the episode was fine, I would say, so just C tier. This one I hated. This one, Sky High. I did not like this episode at all. The stand itself is also not really great. This was, yeah, Sky High. It's basically this dude, I forgot his name as well. It was like, it wasn't Versus, it was, what was his name actually? I don't remember. Let's see here. Sky High stand user. Let's get in that. Let's see here. Rakeel, yeah, Rakeel. So this was Rakeel's stand. I didn't like it. It was basically he could control these kind of insect things that feed off of human body heat, and so I didn't like the episode. The stand itself is pretty boring as well, in my opinion. So D/F tier. Netherworld or Neverworld? What's it called? Was it Netherworld or Underworld? Okay, Netherworld or Underworld, depending on sub or dub. I would give this one probably, I'd give it B tier, I don't know, either C or B tier, and I would give it probably, I'll give it C tier. I like the episode itself. The stand ability itself is also pretty cool, where it's like you can basically use the Earth as kind of a recollection of previous events that happened. So I think that is kind of cool as an ability, as well as the episode with it where Jolene and Hermes, they were like in this old flight that crashed. I thought that was pretty cool as well. But I'm just going to give it C tier. I'm going to be a bit harsh with it, I would say. Hermit Purple, I would give probably B tier. I think that it's got some good uses here and there in part 3. In part 4, there's a few, I think there's like 1 or 2 uses of it maybe. But in part 3, I thought it was good. I did like when Joseph would use it as like basically Spider-Man style, where he would swing across buildings with it against Theo. I thought that was good. And just, yeah, I thought that it's a pretty good, versatile, simple stand. And I think honestly, it doesn't really feel like it completely, if a stand is supposed to be a manifestation of a character's personality, then I don't really see the connection between it and Joseph. Like I don't know, I guess Joseph in his prime, it doesn't feel at all like a stand that Joseph in his prime would have. I guess maybe just like kind of a very useful, actually I guess maybe it does, because Joseph's whole personality, at the very least in part 2, is very much like he is able to come up with quick solutions based on like very minimal amount of stuff that he has on him. So, and I guess like Hermit Purple is an ability that like it's pretty versatile and can be used in a lot of situations, I guess, but it's not, the ability itself is not anything too special, I guess. So maybe it kind of does encapsulate Joseph's personality. So yeah, anyway, this is, what is it? This is the doll from part 3. This is, I forgot the stand name. Ebony Devil. Yeah, this was the one where basically the user killed himself, I think, or maybe he came back to life, I'm not sure. But anyway, the user like kind of falls off of the hotel balcony that Polnareff is at, and then he possesses this doll, I guess, that fights Polnareff. The episode was fine. The stand itself I don't really like that much, so I'm gonna say D/F tier. This is Jumpin' Jack Flash, I think. Yeah, Jumpin' Jack Flash. I didn't care for this one too much. It basically just like the user spit on Jolene, and then Jolene, everything that she would touch would turn 0 gravity, including like the air around her, which I think created a vacuum of some sort, I think. So I didn't really care for the episode too much, and the stand itself, it's not really, I don't really like it that much, so D/F tier I'm giving it. This is Rubber Soul, I remember that is his name. The stand itself is called Yellow Temperance. This is the one that basically, I think does it say here what their abilities are? No, it doesn't. Okay, but I do remember that his stand, it basically, I think it was just like shape-shifting, something like that, and like I guess using this kind of yellow rubber material thing as in combat. So I would say I like the episode. The episode was good. The stand itself is not really the best, so I would give it like C tier, I'll say. C tier. I'm thinking like D/F tier is like maybe I don't like the episode as well as I don't like the stand. C tier is like maybe I like either one or the other. I guess B or A tier depending on how I feel, or I maybe like B or C tier. Here, B or C tier is like I like one aspect of it, whether it's the use in the episode or whether it's the ability itself. That's for B or C tier, like depending on what I feel like. A tier, I think is like I like both the ability and the episode probably, and then S tier is like probably I like it. Here, okay, B/C tier is I like 1 out of 2 of the aspects that I'm rating it on. S and A tier are I like both aspects. Yeah, and I just decided like this is for the low end and this is for the high end as well as this and this. So anyway, next is Hangman. Hangman, I would say I like the ability and I like the episode, so I would give it either. So is that by that criteria? I guess I would have to give it A tier. So yeah, I suppose yeah, I'd give it like probably. I'll be generous, I guess. If that's the criteria I'm kind of going by, then I guess I will give it A tier. I'll say so. I would give probably. Yeah, I give Hangman A tier. I think that it was a very good stand, very cool. I like the ability of like being able to. It's kind of like Man in the Mirror from part 5, except this the Hangman did first. So he basically jumps between reflections of mirrors and stuff, and then he is So I thought that was a cool ability. And the episode itself, the episode itself actually it wasn't like too memorable. It was more memorable for I guess the ability. So maybe I'll bring it down to B tier. I think I'm going to be a bit harsh with it. So yeah. Whole Horse, this was basically just the icon. That was his whole stand. So it's a cool stand, I guess. I thought it was, there were some good moments where he used it, and the episodes with Whole Horse are very good as well, but it's more so for Whole Horse and not really for the stand itself. So I'll just give like B tier, I guess. It's, cool gun stand, but it's not really a stand that's like very memorable because you mostly remember Whole Horse and not really a stand. This is Empress. I like the episode. The episode was pretty good where it's like Joseph was on his own and he had to like the stand was attached to him, and so he had to try to get it off of him. And the stand itself, it's not really that great, I would say. It's just basically a stand that it attaches itself to someone and then it like slowly kills them, I think. And yeah, I don't really care about the ability. The episode itself, though, was good. I would give it like C tier, I guess. This is Wheel of Fortune. I didn't like the stand. It was just a car that would chase the Stardust Crusaders, and it wasn't, the episode I didn't really care for. It was a unique episode, I guess, but still, I just didn't really like the stand. So like when I say the criteria is the abilities of the stand, how cool I think it is, basically based on like its abilities and stuff, and then the episode itself, as in like the use of the stand in the episodes, I guess. So I thought the episode was fine, but I didn't really like the uses of the stand in the episode, except for like when they kind of thought that it was a normal car, but I feel like I'm not really gonna give credit to the stand for that, I guess. So anyway, next is Judgment. I always forget if this is Judgment or Justice because there's 2 stands. There's another, this is Justice. Judgment is the genie one. So Justice, I would say, I did not really like that much. The episode I didn't care for. When I say I didn't care for, it's like the episode was probably fine. Like any episode here that I say I didn't. I mean, some of the episodes I genuinely just didn't care for, but a lot of them, if I say I didn't care for, it just means like it's not one of the most memorable. It's like I didn't love the episode or anything. So, but it doesn't mean that it was necessarily a bad episode. Yeah, Justice, I would say that the stand ability itself was basically, it was in Yaba's stand, right? If I'm not mistaken. Justice, where was Justice? Yeah, here. Enya, I say maybe in the dub she was called Enyaba or something, but I feel like at some point she was referred to as Enyaba. But anyway, Enya, she basically, if she can manage to injure her opponents, then she can control them like a puppet with the stand. It's not, I don't really, not that cool. I mean, it could be cool it could be a cool ability, but it just wasn't portrayed that cool in the actual episode itself with D/up here. The sun stand, I like the episode, and the stand ability itself is, I guess, it's pretty simple. It's just like creates the sun, but I did like the episode, so I will give it B tier. Judgment 13, I would say that this one was a cool stand. I liked the episode. The episode was great. The stand itself is basically, it's one of the most powerful. I said, like, I think that it probably genuinely still is probably one of the most powerful. Basically, you trap unless the user goes to sleep with the stand, which Kakyoin did at the end, but if not, if you can get your opponents to just fall asleep, and then you just like kill them in their dreams, and so that seems like a really OP ability. So I like the episode. I like the stand itself is good. I would say I would give it probably B tier. I am reserving like the A and S tier probably for like some of the better ones, I would say. What is this one? Oh, this is Judgment. Judgment is sorry. Is this Judgment or yeah? This is Judgment. So I like this one. This was cool. Like basically a genie stand that's grants Polnareff his wishes. I thought the episode was good. I thought the stand ability itself was also pretty cool. I would give it, I'll be generous, I'll give it A tier. I thought it was, really good stand. Hierophant Green, I honestly don't care for this one too much. I would give it like I don't know. Honestly, I really just don't. It feels too plain and basic. It can shoot like some emerald shots and stuff and has like a decently long range. But it's not really that cool in my opinion. It's not really used in any, maybe in some fight scenes it's all right, but I don't really care for it too much. It's a very forgetful one. And so, yeah, especially like compared to some of the other Stardust Crusader abilities, I don't care for it that much. So D/F tier. This is one of my least favorite from part 3. What was this one called? Not Empress. This is called High Priestess. Yeah, I don't like this one. This one is basically just, this stand can turn into metals, I think, and the episode I guess was a bit unique because they were underwater, but again, that's not really, no credit goes to the stand for that really, so I would say that I don't really care for it at all. The ability's not that cool, D/F tier. This is Zenyatta's stand, which was the, Knum. Yeah, so I would say that this one, I really like this was a one where when I did it during the part 3 rankings, I was like debating on whether or not I should give the credit to the actual character of Zenyatta himself, or if I should give the credit to the stand, because the episode is great. The episode is very funny. I would say one of the best in part 3, where basically Zenyatta has to pretend to be Jojo for like most of the episode. So I would give it probably, but again, I don't know if it's like, if I would give the credit to Zenyatta or if I would give the credit to the actual stand itself. So I'll be generous. I'll give it A tier. I think it is. It's a very good stand that I did like the use of it in the episode very much. So like, it's a pretty basic stand. It's another, I mean, it's kind of similar to Yellow Tempest, where it's basically just a shape-shifting one, but I thought the episode was a lot better than, like the Yellow Tempest episode was also good, I would say, but I did like, just this one was a lot better, I would say. Next is Mondada's stand, Oingo and Boingo. I would give this one probably S tier. I think that this was great uses of it. Honestly, the stand itself, it's like basically it just kind of predicts the future, but Mondada himself can't really control it, to be honest. It just so happens to always predict stuff that would be good, that would be in his favor, I guess. But yeah, this is some of the best episodes in Jojo, where it's basically just like they have to, like Mondada predicts. It's only used twice, basically, with the episode with Zenyatta and the episode with Whole Horse, but I think both instances are just absolutely great. And so I'm giving an S tier just for the uses in the episodes themselves, because I think they're great. Anubis, I would give this one basically, it's cool. It's like, the stand itself, it's like a cool sword, I guess. It possesses users, and it can, it's powerful sword. It can, I think it can like, it can slice through things, like, but without actually slicing it, which I think is a pretty cool ability. So, cool ability. The episode itself was fun, I would say. I'd give it like a solid, I'll be harsh with it. I think I would give it like, I don't think a B tier. I think, fine, I'll be generous. I'll give it a B tier, I'd say. Okay, this one, I forgot the name of it, but this was Bastet. Yeah, I love this episode. This is one of my favorite of Stardust Crusaders. I would say that the episode itself was fantastic, very funny, with Joseph and Abdal being magnetized. The actual ability itself also of like the magnetism, it's a pretty cool ability, I would say. So overall, I would give this one not S tier, but yeah, because the ability itself is a bit, like I would say that Mondada's ability is a bit more interesting than this one, where it's just simple magnetism, but it is still very good, so I'm gonna give it A tier, I would say. So next is Alessi's ability. This is from this is Sethin. Yeah, Sethin, I don't like this one. Basically, he casts a shadow. The episode itself, I hated, of like the Polnareff basically like being young and stuff. It just didn't work for me at all. I did like the ending though. I did like where it's like he uses the ability on Jotaro, but then Jotaro still, like, even at 7 years old, he was able to beat up people. So the episode ends with Jotaro basically beating up Alessi directly, like without the use of his stand. So, but the ability itself basically, like, his stands goes under someone, it ages them down. The ability itself, it's not really the most, I guess it's another, I mean, I'm not gonna say like it's unique, because all these abilities are pretty unique, I would say. So, but the actual, it's not really, I don't care for it too much. The episode itself also wasn't really one of my favorites, so D/F here, I'm gonna say. Next is, okay, this is Darby stands. This is, what's it called? I think it's Osiris. Yeah, this is Osiris. I love that episode. That episode is another one of my favorites from part 3. And the ability is basically Darby he challenges people to gambling matches, and if he wins, he gets their soul. So it's a cool ability, I would say. And the episode itself is also very good, so I'm going to give it A tier. I feel like these are on the same level, but I feel like this is also, I feel like Mondada Stand is also kind of similar to these ones. So I think like the episodes, this episode, and this episode, they're kind of equal in quality. So I'm kind of like basing this mostly on the abilities, I guess. And I guess this ability, the stand itself doesn't really do too much. It's more of like the actual gambling aspect itself, which is why I'm only giving it A tier. that gambling aspect is less so part of the stand ability. And then for this one, it's like the stand is basically the magnetism, which, yeah, and then I guess the effects of the magnetism are like what make the episode good. But I guess like it's the effects of the stand, I guess, which does, so I don't know, I'm feeling an A tier for these two, and for this one I feel more so. Like this feels more unique, it feels more iconic a bit more than these two, I would say, so S tier for that one. This is, which one is this? Oh, this is Raw, I think? No, Horus, yeah, okay, it's called Horus. This one was basically, it was the pet shop's stand. He would shoot icicles at Iggy, and that is, yeah, that's basically it. Just he shoots some ice, and I didn't care for it really at all, so D/F here. This is Darby Jr.'s, or Darby T, whatever his name was. Let me see here, his name was Atum, yeah, by T Darby, or Talents? His name was Talents, apparently. So yeah, this was the other Darby brothers' ability. It's kind of the same as the first Darby's ability, except basically this one, it's the same thing, except the first one was like gambling. This one is with specifically video games. So I would say it's still very good, I would give it, but and the episode itself was good, so I'll give it like B tier. I guess it also does create like the other world which it creates the other world that Jotaro and Kakyoin end up like facing Darby in the video game match, I guess. So I'll just give it B tier. I think it was fine, not as good as like the first Darby's though. So this one is called Tenor Sax by Kenny G, or I think in the English dub, his name is also called Billie Jean, I'm pretty sure, there's a Michael Jackson reference. So this one I didn't care for. It was just meant to make Dio's lair look more confusing and mysterious than it actually was. So Star Platinum, I would give, okay, the time stop is great, very cool. The actual abilities, it's like the punching is very cool, I would say. But I am going to hold off on giving it S tier because I feel like the time stop, although I do really like when I'll give it S tier. It's just, I feel like I should give the time stop credit a bit more to the world because it is like an ability that feels more iconic to the world. However, I will say Star Platinum, it's like, okay, it's a very great stand, and honestly, I like it a lot in like part 4 and 5 a bit more, I would say. Not part 5, it's not really used in part 5, but in part 4 and 6, I like it. Like anytime Jotaro uses the world, it feels like at this point where it's like they're using the trump card kind of like the final, like, okay, all hope is lost, but it's fine. Like Jotaro, he's like using the world, and it's like, because we know how powerful it was in part 3, it's like it feels very cool when it's used in part 4 and 6 as well. So, and in part 3 it's also good, but in part 3 it's like most of the time it is just kind of, it's the very basic, like it's fast, it's really strong. So I'll give it S tier. It is a very, we'll go S tier for Star Platinum. But especially, I really like the uses in part 4, like the actual bug eaten episode where Josuke and Jotaro, they're hunting the rat, and he stops time in order to like catch the bullets. I thought that was some of the best uses of Star Platinum, and yeah, so overall I will say S tier. This is Cream, I think the name is. Yeah, I would give this one probably. The ability is like basically where Vanilla Ice, he would use it to kind of destroy any matter that he like comes in contact with. And the episode itself was all right, but it is not one that I care for too much. So I would give it probably not C tier. Yeah, I don't care for the episode enough. I mean, it was an impactful episode. Like, it was, spoiler alert, it was the episode that Iggy dies as well as Abdul, I guess. So I don't know. It's not really one that I care for too much. So I'm thinking C or D/F tier, and I'm going to be harsh. I'm just going to give it D/F tier. This is Holly Stands. It was good. I'll give it C tier because it was good motivation for Holly to actually, it was like good motivation for both Joseph and Jotaro to go to Egypt in order to feed Dio. Like, it was good motivation for the part itself. So I think that it was good in that sense, but the actual stand itself is basically just like a disease that I think it also affected Josuke, probably because Josuke in part 4 it's mentioned that when he was younger he also got like this really bad fever that lasted like 50 days. So I'm assuming it wasn't just like, I'm assuming it was basically like the same thing, or I'm not sure, because I mean later on Josuke gets his own stand. So yeah, but I would give it C here. It's like good, again, it's good motivation, I guess, for the part. Like, it adds emotional stakes, which I think makes the part very good, but the stand itself is not really anything. It's just a curse basically on Holly to make her sick. So this is, so I didn't include this in the part 3 ranking, but this is Jonathan Joestar's stand, which is apparently, it's like, there was 1 or 2 scenes, I think, where Dio uses the same kind of spectral photography as that Joseph uses as well. So he uses like this in 1 or 2 scenes, and apparently it's considered Jonathan's stand. I would give it like D/F tier. It's even Hermit Purple when Joseph uses like the spectral photography ability. That aspect of it I don't really care for. I like it more so for the actual combat abilities of it. So anyway, okay, we are getting into some part 4 ones now. I think this tier list it's a bit shorter than the last one I think that we did for the characters. So anyway, Josuke's Crazy Diamond, or Shining Diamond, depending on if you're watching the dub or the sub. I would give this one, I give it B tier. I like it. It's cool. It's like, I like the ability. The ability itself of like being able to restore stuff is pretty good, I would say. It's a bit too similar to Star Platinum of like basically just another kind of like, he's a bit slower and a bit weaker, I would say, but he also does like a bunch of punches and stuff. But I do like the whole like thing, the ability basically that he can fix stuff or reverse stuff to the prior state. So I would give it B tier, and I think there's some good uses for it. So yeah, next I would say, okay, next is the hand. The hand I like a lot. I would give this one probably, I really like the ability. The ability is one of the coolest in my opinion, of being able to just destroy any matter that like the hand comes in contact with. The uses though, it's not really used that much honestly. So for that reason, I'm going to give it A tier. I kind of wish that there was a bit more use of it because it is like a very cool stand. But yeah, like it wasn't used enough for me to give it S tier, I would say. So I feel like I should maybe, I'm going to be a bit harsh. I'm going to move Jotaro's a bit down, I'm going to say, because I'm just not feeling an S tier for it. So I want to reserve the S tiers for, I guess, yeah, I guess this is an S tier stand, but this isn't. But I don't know. It's like I'm on the verge and I'm debating because I'm just, for now, I'm just going to keep it in A tier. We might move it back later on, but we're just going to keep it A tier now. This is Reverb Act 1. Act 1, I would give probably, I'd give like C tier. It was all right. This was the one that basically was able to turn automatopoeia, which means sounds, I think, into actual effects, which I guess was cool. And then this was, I honestly don't really understand the difference between Act 1 and Act 2. I think Act 2 is able to just kind of, I think Act 2 basically does the same thing, except I don't even remember what the difference was. I'm just gonna look it up. Reverb Act 2 ability. Let's see here. Let's see here. Create, write, and shoot onomatopoeia sound effects from its tail into surfaces. Okay, but was that not, unlike Act 1, which only produces sound, Act 2's words have tangible, often power. So Act 1 just, okay, so Act 1, I guess, just created sound. Act 2 was able to, like, create tangible sound, I suppose, which does make it a bit cooler, I guess. So I'm still just going to put both of them in C tier, I guess. I don't know. Reverb Act 2 was a bit more memorable. It had a bit more good uses, I would say. So fine, I'll move Act 1 down to D/tier, I guess, to make it balanced, I guess. Act 3, I would probably also give like just C tier. It only has like one ability, which is basically just the gravity effect, and even then it's like barely used ever. He uses it against Kira, I think once. He uses it at the start of part 5 against Jono, and I think that was like the only times that he ever used it. Maybe he used it like a bit another time against Kira, but it's not used enough for me to really, yeah, it's not used enough for me to rank it really higher than that. So anyway, next is Heaven's Door. I love this ability. This is a really cool ability of being able to like search through people's like history basically, as well as being able to manipulate them by like writing in information into their story, I guess, whatever, like the pages of their face or whatever. And the episode use itself is also very good, I would say, but I am going to be harsher with this tier list. I think I gave it S tier in the part 4 ranking. I'm going to be a bit harsher, and I will give it just A tier because I want to save the S tiers for just the best of the best ones. So yeah, next up is Killer Queen. Killer Queen, I would give, it's cool. I'll give it B tier. The only issue with it is, and I'm pretty sure Araki himself also had like this issue with it. It feels way too overpowered. Like it feels like it's a stand that makes stuff explode, but that doesn't necessarily make it feel like it should be stronger than any other stand that they faced in part 4. So just for some reason, they just made this like every other stand was kind of like, it had abilities that feel logical, like, okay, yeah, this makes sense for like a final boss, whether it was the world, which stops time, whether it was King Crimson, which like jumps forward in time. I guess, yeah, time-related abilities are pretty OP. Made in Heaven, which is like here, there was White Snake that Pucci used, which was able to like steal stand abilities and memories, which, okay, that feels like I would say that's like about, not a boss level fight, but it does end up like evolving into Sea Moon, which is able to like reverse like gravity or something like that. And then Made in Heaven, which is like extremely fast. So those felt like final boss level abilities. And I guess technically Killer Moon is kind of like the prelude to the rest of the abilities that Kira has. But yeah, I just give it B tier. It's cool. I like the explosion stuff, but it's not. Yeah, I'm just feeling this B tier, I would say. So for Chariot, I would give this one. I'm giving this one C tier. I'll go C for Chariot. It's like, it's a basic sword fighting stand. It's fast. It's got like, I like the moment where Polnareff is fighting Anubis, and so he like has to launch the rapier like to the side of one of the pillars, and then like ricochets off to defeat Anubis's user at the time, which was probably, I think his name was like Chaka or something. So I like that moment, but it feels very basic, so just C tier. I'm giving it. Sheer Heart Attack. I like the episode a lot. The ability itself is also pretty cool. A thermal seeking bomb. I would give it probably A tier. Who do I like better, Killer Queen or Sheer Heart Attack? I think I like Sheer Heart. I don't know. Killer Queen looks cooler. Actually, I think I do probably like Killer Queen a bit better than Sheer Heart Attack. So Sheer Heart Attack, I'll give like a B tier. Killer Queen, you know what? Fine. I'll move Killer Queen to A tier because honestly, visually speaking, it is probably like one of, if not my favorite stands. Like just visually speaking, Killer Queen is probably like one of the best design stands, I would say. Bite the Dust. Bite the Dust. This is the one that I did my whole review for. I think it was either the review I did for part 4 or it was the stand ranking. This one, basically, I don't understand really like how it's supposed to work. It's like, the whole thing is basically, I'm not going to get into this whole rant because I did a whole rant about it like when I ranked it in part 4. But in short, it is supposed to basically make it so that Hayato cannot reveal Kira's identity. Otherwise, whoever he tells Kira's identity will end up dying like by explosion, and then Hayato will get sent back like an hour to, or not an hour, but like the morning or something like that, which I think it was an hour basically. So yeah, I don't understand it really. Like it doesn't feel, I don't understand really how it's supposed to be used technically, like what the ultimate goal was with Kira. So, and it also makes it so you can't use Killer Queen, which is a bit of a, yeah, so I don't really, the ability, it's another time ability, which is cool, I guess, but it's not really presented well. Like it's not simple, and it's not simple enough to understand really, like, or at least I can't understand the full extent of like the ability and how useful it could realistically be. So yeah, the ability itself, it's not really one of my favorites, and the use in the episode I guess was good, so I'll give it like C tier, I'll say. So yeah. Aqua Necklace. This is a copy of a later stand. I think it was from part 3, the stand name. Yeah, but yeah, so this is basically the same stand where it's just liquid. It's like water that kind of just Angelo uses to kill people. And yeah, I didn't like the episode. It was the first episode actually it was the first or second episode of part 4. The ability, I don't like. The episode itself wasn't that great either, so I'm just gonna say D/F tier. Bad Company, I also don't care for this one too much. It's just basically just a bunch of soldiers that fight for Keijo Nichimura. So I don't like the ability really. The episode itself, I didn't care for too much. The D/F tier. This is Kobayashi Stand from part 4. It was, what was it called? I think it was called like Lock. The Lock, yeah. I like the episode. The episode was very good, and the ability itself, it's fine. It's not really one of the best. I'll give it B tier. Yeah, it's a cool ability. Definitely like just you feel guilty, and then it's like you get a lock on you, and so you have to like pay. It basically just uses it to extort people, kind of. So I give it B tier. It was good in the episode. It's not, the ability itself is like just fine, I would say. Surface, I like this one. This one is pretty cool. I like the episode of like basically Josuke fighting himself, and the ability is basically that, yeah, it can copy people. I don't think it can copy stand abilities, so I would give it probably. The ability is fine. It can't copy stand abilities, but it can copy people, which I guess is all right. The episode itself, I'll give it C tier. I'm going to be a bit harsh with it, just C tier, I would say. Love Deluxe, if I'm not mistaken, that was the name. Yeah, this is Yukiko's ability, where she can just control her hair. It's got some good uses, but it's more so for, I don't know, I like it. Like when Yukiko gets angry and she uses it, I guess it's good, but that's more so I like it for like Yukiko's rage. I think it's funny rather than the ability itself. The ability itself is just like controlling hair. It's not that great, I would say. So it's actually, it's kind of the same ability that, who was it, Bruford had in part 1, where, yeah, Jonathan fought him, and then Bruford was able to control his hair. So it's kind of basically the same ability as that. So Anyway, next is Red Hot Chili Pepper. This was a fast one that like basically moved through lightning, which I thought was cool. So the ability is cool. The episode itself wasn't really one of my favorites, so I'll give it just like C tier. We'll go C for Chili Pepper, I guess. Next is Rets, I think it was called, if I'm not mistaken. Where is it? It is, yeah, Rat. Okay, it was called Rat, apparently. I don't really care for the ability, but the episode itself was really good. The episode itself, once again, this was like some of the best use of Star Platinum, where it's like you had to stop time to defeat the bullet. So I will give for the episode, I'll give it B tier. And yeah, the ability itself, though, it's just basically a rat uses this cannon thing to shoot these poisonous bullets that cause like people to become messed up or something. Like just their skin ends up like getting infected with this. Yeah, I don't really know how to describe it, but I just give it B tier. Harvest. The ability itself, it is apparently a Rocky's favorite stand. It's an alright stand. It's fine. It's like just being able to control. It's kind of similar to Bad Company, to be honest, where it's just like controlling a bunch of small units to do stuff for you. And I don't care for it too much. The episode was fine, the uses of it in the episode, so I'll just give it C tier, I would say. The Fool. This was basically Iggy could use sand to make this like kind of thing, this dog thing that he would fight with. So it was all right. It had a few good moments here and there. I would give it like C tier probably. It's not one of my favorites, but yeah, it's all right. This one, Adam Heartfather. I would give it, right? Yeah, I'm getting that name right. Yeah, Adam Heartfather. I like the episode. The episode was cool. The ability itself was basically like he takes a picture of people in the room and then they're trapped. They can't leave the room because like it's within the confines of the photo. So the ability, I would say, it's all right. I give it like C tier. It's not. Yeah, it was pretty short. Like the actual fight that, like he fights Josuke and Jotaro, but then it's like a few minutes later, Jotaro figures out like how to beat him by just taking a picture of him himself, like taking the photo that was taken of them and then taking another photo of like the same photo, but just the part with Kira's father in it. So I'll give it C tier. This is Boys to Men. I like the episode itself. The episode itself was good, which was basically, it was this kid, Ken, challenging to Rohan to Rochambeau. That it was a good episode, and the ability itself basically where he wins like I think 3 out of 5 games of Rochambeau, and then he can steal his opponent's abilities. I also like that, and so I would give this one like probably, I give it B tier, not A tier I would say, but yeah, it's solid B tier I would go. Highway Go-Go, I don't care for this one. The ability is basically, it runs fast and it steals nutrients. The episode itself, I guess, was good, but it was more so for the characters. Like, I keep forgetting this dude's name. Yuya, I think his name was. If I'm not mistaken, let's hear. Yeah, Yuya. So I liked it for the character of Yuya and like Josuke and him getting upset and stuff, but I don't really care for the stand ability though. So Superfly, I thought this ability is kind of cool. It's basically this giant cell phone tower that traps whoever is in it, and then you can only leave if someone else enters it. So I thought the ability is cool. I would say the episode itself was all right. I would give it a solid C tier or B tier. I'm going to be a bit harsh. I'm just going to give it C tier, I would say. This is Enigma. I would say that I liked the ability where basically this dude finds, I forgot his name, but Enigma by, his name is, Miyamoto, the Mario creator. So I would say that the ability itself was basically Miyamoto finds your fear tell, like what you do when you get afraid and stuff, and then he would be able to use the ability to like trap you into a piece of paper and stuff. So it was all right. The actual ability itself it's fine, and the episode itself was good. I like the episode once again, like I like the episode, but more so for like other characters like Yuya, his whole like redemption, not redemption necessarily, but like him kind of helping out Josuke and Koichi in that episode. I thought was good. So I just give it like a C tier, I'd say. It's another cool design actually. I do like the design of like, I like the purple and stuff. So next is Cheap Trick. I love this episode. This was a great episode from part 4. The ability itself, basically you can't let anyone see your back, otherwise you die. And so yeah, good use of the episode. The actual ability itself is also very good. I would give it a solid A tier, I think I would give it. So yeah, we'll go A tier. Next up is Pearl Jam. So I like the ability. The ability itself, it was very tied into the episode where basically Josuke and Okuyasu, they went to Tony's restaurant and then they would eat stuff. Okuyasu, he would like get better, like all his ailments would be treated and stuff. And so I would say that the episode was good as well as the ability. So I would give it like a solid A tier, honestly. It was a very good episode, and like the ability was very tied to the episode, so A tier. This is, I think it's called Octung Baby. Yeah, this was basically Shizuka. She would basically she was invisible. She would turn other stuff invisible when she got stressed out. I don't really care for it too much, the episode itself. The episode itself was fine, but it was more so, again, because of like Joseph and not really because of the baby as much. So, up here, this is Mikitaka's stands. Yeah, Mikitaka, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Fire name, by the way, like this is a great stand name, Earth, Wind, and Fire, I like it. So this one is actually, it's not actually technically a stand. I think it's just an ability that Mikitaka has, like being an alien, he's able to shapeshift, but I am still including it here, so because it is listed with the rest of the stands. I would say that this one was, a shapeshifting. It's like a guy could use where it's like the game of dice between Rohan and Josuke. I thought that was good. And I'll give like a solid B tier for the use of it. This ability itself is pretty basic. It's kind of similar to Yellow Tempest, where it's basically just like shapeshifting. You can even say it's kind of similar to Zenyatta's ability, except Zenyatta's like more so just the face. So, yeah. Next is, what is next? This is Aya's stand, Cinderella. This, I don't care for it. It just kind of makes people more beautiful. It doesn't actually really change their face anyway. It just kind of like does some stuff to make a person look more appealing. And it could, I guess, swap faces as well. And so it's a pretty impactful one. It's the reason that Kira is able to get away in part 4, but I do think that it is just not that cool in my opinion. So Zawaldo, yeah, I'm not good at saying it, but I would have to really get into like I have to really try to get the impression down, but I'm not going to try to do that for this recording. Maybe sometime in the future I'll try it again. But yeah, the world, great stands, love it. Just again, time abilities are always great. In most cases, they're great. When it comes to like Bite the Dust, where it's a bit too confusing, it's not as good. But yeah, the world is great. Just being able to stop time. When Dio uses it, the way he says it, like the actual effect of the stand, like the sound effect, it sounds great. It's pretty cool. Like, time stop, it's always got like different variants of how it's used and stuff. In this case, where it's like basically there's like the visual effect as well as like the sound effect, and then everything goes black and white. There is they do definitely do the incorrect timing trope where it's like, oh, it only lasts for like 5 seconds, but then it'll go on for like a minute where time will be frozen, and not a minute maybe, but like definitely at least like 30 seconds, like sometimes in the episode. So, but even so, it is a very cool stand and one of very iconic, and yeah, one of my favorite, I would say, S tier. This is, I think it's called Stray Cat. Yeah, this one is basically the cat died and then became a flower, and then this flower is able to like shoot these compressed air bubbles which are able to pack a punch. And I would say that I like the episode with the cat. I would say like where Kira faces like the flower and then eventually he does end up incorporating it in his ability. I would give it like probably C tier. We'll go C for cat. I guess it was all right. Yeah. Golden Experience. I honestly, out of all the main character, like the protagonist stands, I just don't really care for this one. It feels too similar to Crazy Diamond, where Crazy Diamond is also kind of able to heal stuff. So yeah, Giorno, he can use Golden Experience to heal people by like creating new body parts and stuff, but it doesn't even like heal them necessarily. It just kind of replaces like the wounded areas with new like tissue and stuff. So I don't care about the ability. Feels a bit too similar to Josuke's, and besides that, like there's a few good uses where it's like he turns a gun into a banana for Pulpo to eat. So there was stuff like that, but it's just really, I don't really care for it too much. So I'm going to, D/F tier feels a bit harsh, but yeah, honestly, I just don't care for it. So I'm just gonna have to give it D/F tier. So now Golden Experience Requiem, this one basically can negate all ability. I don't really understand. The Requiem abilities honestly don't feel too connected to the actual stand abilities, where it's like Chariot Requiem. Like for some reason it has nothing to do with the actual Silver Chariot, where it's like it causes everyone to swap souls and it amplifies stand abilities, but then stand abilities like fight against their users. It just feels completely disconnected from the actual stand Silver Chariot. And yeah, this one also kind of where basically Golden Experience Requiem, in contrast to Golden Experience, which basically is able to like turn inorganic matter into organic matter, Golden Experience Requiem just kind of like negates all attacks. So if Diablo tries to use King Crimson, it won't work, and it can also just like completely unrelated, can trap people in a death loop. So I do like the negation part. The whole death loops thing I still don't really like that much, because like I just don't like I don't know, it feels undeserved for Diablo. Like he should have, I don't know, like he doesn't deserve to die infinitely. So I would just give it probably like, I know it is like extremely powerful, but again, this is not really based on power. It's based on how cool I think it is and the use in the episode. The use in the episode, it was good, I would say. The actual ability though, I like the negation part. The negation part is cool, and being able to negate stuff in general, I guess, is cool. But it's not really used for. It's only used like against Diablo in the one scene where he tries to use King Crimson. So I'm just gonna give it C tier, honestly. So yeah. Zipperman. It's all right, I would say. Like being able to make zippers. I see my phone is getting low on battery, which is fine actually because I do have a charger here, and I can connect my charger to my computer and then connect the charger itself to my phone. So we're just gonna do that now. Brief intermission, I guess. There we go. I gotta do this where it doesn't actually, where my phone doesn't fall. So let's just hope that this doesn't fall here. Oh, I'm doing it from the wrong side. I forgot. Yeah, when I'm recording here in my dorm, it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. My room is like kind of mirrored. So, okay, for a second I thought that the recording stopped, but yeah, my room is mirrored, so I have to actually like flip my phone as well. So, anyway, yeah, intermission over. Zipperman, I would give probably, yeah, Bucciarati, he can like he can like go through walls and stuff, and basically it's not really teleportation, but it's kind of like he can move through space and get through things, like basically like go through walls and go through stuff basically. So it's fine. I'll give it B tier. I think I was a bit harsh with it in the part 5 stand ranking, but I would say that it's like B tier. It is pretty cool, I would say, and the uses for it are all right. So a Bakio stand, I really like the design. The design is one of the coolest stand designs, I would say. The ability itself is basically just like you can see past events, which I guess it's cool, but it's not really, like, it's pretty important because they do need to use it in a lot of cases to like find out information. But the stand itself, I'll give it like B tier for the design mostly, honestly. And the sound effect is also, it sounds pretty cool. It's like a phone call or something. So let's go B tier. 6 pistol or Sex Pistols, whether you're watching the dub or the sub. I think what's listed here, I think this is listing for the sub names, if I'm not mistaken. The sub names would have been the original song names. So yeah, here it's Metallica instead of Metallic. So where was it? It should be listed here at, yes, Sex Pistols. So I would give it probably, it's all right. It's just basically Mista, he shoots bullets, and then his stand is able to like redirect the bullets, which it's all right. It's not the coolest. I feel like it would be, most of the time it's like we have a close-up shot of the bullet, and then we just see like the stands, like numbers 1 through 7, excluding 4. Like they're just kind of like riding the bullet, like trying to redirect it. I think it would have been a bit cooler if we saw like outside shots of the bullet kind of curving and stuff. I think that would have been a bit better. It's all right. I'd give it, it's used a lot because Mista is just like, he ends up using his, Mista just has a lot of scenes, so I'll give it C tier. I'm going to be harsh with it. Narancha's ability, Aerosmith, I would give a bit higher. I would give it like probably B tier. I like the uses. The ability basically is, it's like a plane he controls. You can use it to detect carbon dioxide, which I think has a lot of good uses in the part. And yeah, I don't like the when he used it to kill Risotto. I thought that was like, you know, because Risotto was about to like solve all their problems by defeating Diablo/Doppio, but yeah, whatever. That's not really on his stand. That's more just like, I mean, it's not really on Narancha either, because I think, I mean, that again, like as well, like you just like, he did, they were scouting the area, and then Narancha uses his stand ability. He sees, oh, there's someone up on that hillside over there. Let me gun him down. It's like, that could have just been like a hiker or something, like or like someone just like on the side of the road, like taking a piss or something like that. Like your first instinct is like, shoot the guy down. Like I don't see that. That seemed like it's not the best decision. So anyway, next is Fugo stand. This is Purple Haze. I would say that it's not really. It's only used on like one scene. The ability itself is like kind of cool. I guess it has like a small, very toxic radius. So if someone gets close enough to it, then it will be able to like basically instantly kill them through its poison. And besides that, its use in the episode was fine. I would say I would just give it like C tier. It's not really, yeah, it's just not really used a lot. So Spice Lady, I think that's what it's called, or Spice Girls. I keep forgetting the name. Yeah, Spice Girl. Wasn't it originally called like the band? The bands that this band is named after. It's called Spice Girls, right? Or I don't remember. Anyway, the stand itself can turn like solid objects into like kind of, I forgot the word for it, but malleable, I think the word was. Let's do a fact check here. Malleable, meaning I'll be able to be hammered or pressed permanently out of shape without breaking or cracking. Yeah, so malleable, it's able to turn material malleable, basically. She uses it against Notorious Big, and besides that, it is not really used after that. So I would say the ability itself is pretty cool, but the stand's ability itself is not really used enough for me to rank it higher than like C tier, I would say. So anyway, next is Mr. President. Mr. President, I would give probably, it was not really that, I mean, it's just kind of, it doesn't feel like, it's just meant to be like a way for the Bucciarati's crew to travel throughout Italy without being spotted, kind of, where it's like most of them could just stay there inside the turtle. It's just meant to be like a hideout for Trish mainly and anyone else that's like with her. So it's not really, it's useful, I guess, but it's not that cool or anything. So yeah, this is great. Tower of Grey. This was like the first stand that I think, well, besides like, I guess, besides Cockyween and Polnareff, this was the first stand that the Stardust Crusaders end up facing, and I don't really care for it. The episode was fine, but I just don't, yeah, the stand ability itself is basically just this fast-moving fly that they were fighting. It wasn't that cool, so these up here. King Crimson, solid S tier. Love the time abilities. Once again, this one is no different than, I mean, it's different from the world, but no different in the sense that I think it is great. Another great time stand ability where he's able to basically jump forward 10 seconds where everything is happening like it's supposed to, and then he is able to, like, yeah, basically, if he's about to get like shot by a gun, like, well, yeah, say shot by a gun, what else would he be shot with? So let's say someone tries to shoot him, then he is able to like use King Crimson. Like, I think everything also happens everything happens in slow motion, so he's able to like avoid it and then kind of, yeah, just like change fate basically, which I think is really cool. And great sound effect, one of my favorite sound effects probably honestly my favorite sound effect in all of Jojo when it is used. I don't like the design. The design, I will say, the design does not look great. I know it's supposed to be homage to the actual album in the hall, like in the Court of King Crimson by whoever wrote that. Who actually was it? AC/DC? For some reason, my mind is saying it's AC/DC that wrote that album. Let me see here. Who wrote the album in the court? Actually, this is a very inconvenient way of doing it. In the court of the by King Crimson. Oh, okay. So I don't know where I got AC/DC from. Apparently, the artist itself is called King Crimson, and yeah, I don't know who they are, to be honest. But yeah, I think the stand is supposed to be homage to this album cover, and I don't really think it looks great, to be honest. I think once again something like Killer Queen looks a lot better, a lot cooler, I would say. Even the world honestly doesn't have like the best design in my opinion. I don't really care for the design too much of the world, but it is, yeah, I mean, it's better than, I guess, King Crimson's. I'll say it just looks creepy. Like, it's the teeth probably on it. It's the teeth and the eyes, yeah. It's like, yeah. Anyway, so still an S tier stand. I think it's great. I really like the ability. It's just another very cool time ability. So S tier. Black Sabbath. It's a stand that can just like move through shadows, and for some reason it has a stand arrow that's like incorporated in the ability itself. I don't really care for it, to be honest. I like the ability. I like the idea of like moving through shadows and stuff, but it's just not really. They don't do anything too interesting in the episode. I mean, there's the moment where it's like Giorno causes the tree to like age so much that it just like ends up decaying, and then the stand gets defeated like from the sun. But it's not that, not that cool, I would say. This one's Craftworks. This one's called like Soft Machine, I think, or Soft Machine, yeah. This is the ability that basically this dude was able to like duplicate the boat, or basically take another boat and then kind of fuse it with the boat that Bucciarati's gang was on, and then he was able to like kind of go in between the boats to like sneak attack the crew members. I don't care for it. It wasn't great. The episode was fine. Not even, I was neutral on the episode. I didn't care for it too much, but yeah. Once again, I'm saying I don't care for these episodes like a lot of the time, but in a lot of cases, the episodes themselves, if I say I didn't care for it, I meant like the use of the stand in the episode itself. Like, there were probably like a lot of good moments in the episodes. I'm saying like I don't care for it. So Craftwork, I would say that this ability was actually pretty cool, honestly. Like, just being able to stop bullets and stuff. Like, basically anything that touches the dude's skin ends up, like, his name was Sale, I'm pretty sure. Anything that touches his skin stops in like midair, like spatially freezes, which I thought was very cool. And then he's also able to like even kind of flick the bullets back at Mista, who he was fighting, and then they would like, it would go like extremely fast, like basically at bullet speed again. So I thought that was cool. So for the ability, I would give B tier. Honestly, I didn't really, the episode itself wasn't the best, but I did like the ability a lot, so B tier. This is Metallica. Metallica, I would give it probably, this was, I think, my second favorite stand from part 5. I would give it probably, I don't know about A tier. Again, I'm kind of like being very harsh for waiting for the S tiers. I would give it probably, I might have to change around the A and S tier ones. Maybe I should actually group it in together. Maybe I should like for once just call it S/A tier maybe. I'm not sure. Because a lot of these are, I'm not going to do that. That's like more of a D/F tier kind of thing. I don't know. For now, I'm just going to give it A tier, and then at the end, maybe we might just move some around. But yeah, I would say that Metallica, it's a very cool stand. Basically, Risotto is able to use the iron in people's body and then kind of turn it into like actual like razors and scissors and stuff like that. So I thought the use of it in the episode was great. The actual ability itself is very cool, so solid A tier. This is, what is this one? Oh, I hate this one. This is Tiny Feet, I'm pretty sure. Where is it? Tiny, yeah, Little Feet. I did not like this one. This one was very boring. It just kind of shrunk either himself or Narancia. Just not that cool D/F tier. This one, Man in the Mirror, this was too similar to Hangman, where basically, where's Hangman? Where's Hangman actually? I put Hangman in A tier, didn't I? Where did I put, oh, I put him B tier. Hangman, I put in A tier. I'm gonna move Hangman up. I would say it was A tier worthy, I would say. Why is it lagging? Okay, there we go. Yeah, so Man in the Mirror, it just, I mean, Michael Jackson reference was pretty cool, but yeah, it feels too similar to Hangman. So for that reason, I would just give it like, the episode itself was like, it's not even the best, I would say. I didn't care for the, like the whole thing, it could bring people into the mirror worlds, and that was it, but it wasn't, I don't know, it didn't feel that interesting, so I'm just gonna give it D/F tier. Beach Boy, I think that's what it was called, right? Beach Boy, yeah. Beach Boys reference, pretty cool. I like the song Darlin' from the Beach Boys because that was in Big Bang Theory, and so I heard the song after I watched that episode of the Big Bang Theory, and I know that one song from the Beach Boys, and that's it. I would say that the stand was A tier. I liked it. I like the use of it in the episode where Pesci, like, he gets like really serious after like his brother ends up getting defeated, and so he like gets really serious with the stand. The stand's ability itself is pretty cool, where it's like basically a fishing rod that can kind of phase through objects in order to get to its target. I thought that was cool, so solid A tier, I would say. Next is, what is this? This is The Grateful Dead. I would give this one, I would say probably, the use of it was fine. The ability itself basically just aged people up and was like kind of the opposite of Alessi's ability, I guess. So I would say that it was C tier for the use of it in the episode, I guess. The ability itself just aging people up, it's like not really that, it's fine, I would say. This one I also don't like. I would say that this is, which one is this? Babyface? Babyface, I didn't like Babyface. I think that Babyface was, I didn't like it. The whole thing of like the actual setup of it, where it's like Malone, he needs to find a woman with all these like specific requirements of like her data. Why is this not moving? He has to, okay, it's stuck. Why is it stuck? It's not moving. I think like the screen is frozen. Wait, let me open a new tab. That should anytime like I'm noticing now, like when stuff starts lagging, I just need to like open a new tab in order to get stuff to work. It's not, the tabs themselves aren't loading. I think my computer crashed or something, so that might be an issue. While I wait for this to load, I'll just say the whole thing, the episode itself was just Malone. He needed to like get all these like specific requirements for like, he needed like to get a woman with a specific birthday. Like she here finally loaded. Like if she smoked, he was asking her like all these like stuff he needed, and then he basically used her DNA basically, as well as like Bucciarati's DNA, in order to create this thing that went after Bucciarati, and then it was able to turn living things into, it was the opposite of like Jonas stand kind of, which is kind of interesting, like having it's always opposite. It's cool to have a stand that has like opposite abilities as another stand, but it's just not really utilized that great, I would say. So D/F tier, didn't like the episode too much, and yeah. This is Blue King something, I think, like Sea Blue King. I think that was the name. Dark Blue Moon. Okay, a bit off on that name, but Dark Blue Moon. It's a basic, the episode itself, I guess, was fine, but not for the stand ability, I would say. The stand ability is just like a stand that fights well underwater. That's it. It's pretty basic and not that interesting. So D/F here, I'm gonna give it. Why is it lagging again? Is it because like the tier list, or is it? What's going on? Do I have too many? I don't have too many tabs open, I think. Here, is this the last? Okay, it's not the last of part 3. When we finish one of the parts, I'm gonna close some of the one of the tabs. Did we finish the stands for part 4? If we did, then I can close the tab for part 4. Okay, it's currently lagging, so I can't do anything at the moment. So I'm moving it. It's not doing anything, which is annoying. Let's see here. Let's just like take this time to see if we finish part 4. I think we did. I think we can. Yeah, I think we can close out the tab for part 4 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, part 4. What is this one? Yeah, we finished part 4, so we can close this one out. Right? There's something here that like I forgot to. Let's see here. I think we did all these, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we did. Okay, that is great. So we can close part 4. Hopefully this will help it load a bit better. Let's try now. Okay, there we go. Okay, wonderful. White Album. This one is, I like the, I don't know. The use of it in the episode was basically just a chase of like Mista and Giorno. They were running away from this dude. I forgot his name, like Giacchio, something like that. Let's see here. White Album. Where's White Album? Here, White Album by Giacchio. Yeah, Giacchio, something like that. I don't really care for the stand. It's just kind of, he's encapsulated with ice. He was trying to freeze Mista and Giorno, and it wasn't that interesting. I didn't care for the ability. The episode itself was not that good. Not really one of my favorites. So was this Jonathan's? I didn't mean to move that. Why, what's going on lately? Like, do I need to stop the recording? Is it because, here, maybe my computer's overheating or something like that? I'll try to like, if I unplug it from the charger, maybe that'll do something. Maybe that'll help it to, what do I do in a situation like this? What the hell? Okay, it's stuck again. I don't know what is going on? I need to buy a new computer at this point. I don't even know if it's the computer itself. It's just the Wi-Fi. It's just not working well. Okay, there we go. Now, hopefully, it's like buffering and stuff. Okay, hopefully we'll be able to get through this without any more lag interruptions. So anyway, next is Crush. Crush from part 5, or I think it was called Crush, or Clash. Yeah, I think, again, depending on the dub or the sub. Clash or Crush, I would give it probably, it was all right. I would give it like C2. We'll go C for Crush. And once again, it's not loading. Okay, fine. Hopefully that was just, okay. C tier, I would give it the ability itself is basically just kind of, it was a piranha that is able to move through liquids, which I would say it's pretty cool. I would say the ability. The use in the episode, I like the episode itself, but it was a bit more for this stand, no mouth, which I liked a lot. I would give it probably A tier for its ability. God damn it. The ability of no mouth, here we go. Come on, please. Why? It's like, is it because the tier list is too big? This is actually one of the shorter tier lists I've done. Is it because I'm in my university now? Is like the network not working here today or something like that? Anyway, the stand, it's cool. I like it. The ability, like basically anything that Narancia says is like, he says the opposite of it. I think that probably he could have figured out that if he just says like the opposite of actually what he actually means, then he could have like conveyed his messages properly. Where it's like if he said like, Giorno, don't go in that room, he could have said like, he could have like himself said, Giorno, go in that room, and then it would have come out as like what he actually wanted to say. So I think that it's probably pretty easily defeatable, but I do like the use of it in the episode. I thought it was very good. So A tier. Notorious B.I.G. I would give this one probably, I would say B tier. We'll go B for B. We'll have to wait until. Maybe I should just stop the recording. But we're almost done. I don't want to stop now. Like we're about to finish. Like we only have like less than 2 rows. Is it because is there any way that here? Okay, come on, please. Oh my god. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Can we get this into B tier? Okay, I'm gonna get this into B tier when it actually loads, and then we're just gonna stop the recording. I'm gonna take a break because this is like pissing me off. Okay, B tier, I would say, yeah, it was good for the. I like the episode. The episode was good. Basically, the stand ability itself of like it was interesting. I don't really know why the user had to die in order for the stand ability to work, but yeah, the ability itself is basically a stand that tracks movement and then like is very powerful. So I would say that, and then ultimately like it got defeated by being drowned in the ocean. And I mean, not drowned in the ocean, but basically it got stuck in the ocean, and then it's detecting all the movement from the waves and stuff, so it's just permanently stuck there. So I would say that, yeah, it's a cool ability. The episode itself was also good. I would say a solid B tier. If this lags, we're just going to, we're just going to take a break. So this is Green Day Chocolate stand, and the ability was that it creates a mold that activates when you get to a lower elevation. I didn't really care for it. I didn't really care for the episode itself as well. I would give it, okay, it's not loading. Okay, it loaded. Hopefully that's a good sign. I would say, is my computer like overheating or something? I'm gonna feel the bottom. The bottom feels hot, but it doesn't feel like so hot that the computer should overheat or something like that. So yeah, I'm not a tech expert, so I don't really know what causes lag in most cases, but I'm assuming part of it is like when you just use a computer for too long. So anyway, Chariot Requiem, I would give it probably B tier or A tier. I would say here, there we go. Now it's kind of working, so that's good. I would give it probably, I'll give it B tier, not A tier, but I thought it was cool. Basically, it's swap people's souls, which I thought was good for the episode, and the ability of like basically buffing stand abilities, but then they can't actually use it against Chariot Requiem. I thought was cool. It like can only be used against, actually was it, I forgot if it was specifically they couldn't use it on Chariot Requiem or if they couldn't use it on the stand. I think it was probably Chariot Requiem, I would assume. So yeah, I think that, yeah, it was cool. It was a solid feature, I would say. So yeah. Rolling Stone, this was or Prophecy Stones, this was in the final episode of part 5 where Mista ended up like meeting this stand user who ended up getting like this prophecy that Bucciarati was going to die. And so Mista like had to prevent Bucciarati from touching the stone. And ultimately his interference with fate cost also the lives of Narancia and Abakio. So I would say it was fine. I would say C tier. I don't really know how I feel about it. Like the stand that's just able to like confirm that people are going to die in the near future. I think that's, yeah, it's fine. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It was fine. It was a fine episode. The ability itself, again, I don't really know how I feel about it. Just like this ability that, I don't know how good that is for the show. Just, I don't know, anytime like the show is like very much like focusing on like, oh, fate you cannot change fate. It's like, that was one of the messages of like, or the themes of part 5, which I didn't really resonate with me that much. I think ultimately the theme was supposed to, the message was supposed to be like, you can change your fate maybe because Giorno ends up managing to change fate or something like that. But I don't know, when saying stuff like, oh, you like, this is going to happen, you can't do anything about it. It's like, in the case of like when it's tied to fate and stuff, it just doesn't really, I don't like too much, I'll say. So anyway, Stone Free, I would give probably, oh great, we can't give it anything. Okay, you know what, we're gonna take a break. I'm just gonna stop this now because I just don't want to deal with this for the next like however many rows we have. So I'm just gonna stop the recording, and we'll for you guys nothing should change, but I'm gonna like take like, I don't know, 15-minute, half an hour break, something like that, and then we will be back. So yeah, just give me a second here. All right, took a short break, ate a salad. It was all right. You know, I had it with some avocado, some lettuce. It was a vegetable salad, so it was all right. Not the best, but you know, anyway, that's not really important. So yeah, hopefully it will not lag now, and so we can hopefully finish this up. So yeah, we have Stone Free, which I like. I think that it is probably around the same level as Crazy Diamond. I just really like the aspect of it that Jolene can choose to like use it long range or short range, because up until this point, pretty much every JoJo stand has been a close range stand. So it is actually, you know what, I'm just gonna give it like A tier just for the versatility. I think that it's just like really cool that she can use it as like just thread for long range purposes, or she could decide to fight with it up close. I like the versatility of it, so I'm gonna give it A tier. Next we have, this is Emporio's stand. I think it is called, it's because the tab hasn't been opened in a while, it's gonna take a bit to load. Hopefully not too long. I think it's called like Burning Down the House, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I think there's something wrong with like the internet today. Like also on my phone, like right before I started continuing the recording, I was like watching a video and it wasn't loading. So I think that there's just like genuinely something wrong with the internet today, and that is just really bad timing considering the fact that I was about to finish this recording. So okay, if this doesn't load in like the next 10 seconds, I'm just gonna like stop this recording and then, okay, there we go. Okay, let's see here. Burning Down the House. Yes, Emporio stand. I would say, these ones for some reason are loading. I would give this one probably, I give it, I'll go C tier, because there are a few good uses where it's like Emporio like whips out a computer or something like that, or when he's hiding the disc of Weather Reporter's stand ability. Like there's moments like that where I thought it was fine, but overall it's a pretty basic ability where basically he can just like kind of, in the prison, he can like access certain areas like ghost items and stuff, and he can like, I guess, hide places in like certain areas. It's just kind of, he mostly just uses it to like hide stuff basically, so it's fine, C tier. This is Kiss. I would give this one, or I think it's called Smack in the English dub, I would give this one probably like B tier. I think it's pretty cool actually, and I do like the uses for it where basically, especially towards the end, where Hermes basically duplicates bullets, and so Emporio, he shoots bullets, and then everyone kind of everyone like is huddled together, and they're like traveling by using the sticker to like connect the two bullets. So I thought that was a pretty one of the coolest forms of transportation that they've had in this show. So I like that. The ability itself is basically just like Hermes, she can put a sticker on something to duplicate it and then rip the sticker off in order to bring the two things back together, and it causes damage a lot of the time when she puts them back together. So I think it is, yeah, it's pretty cool. I would say B tier. I like the use of it. I think it's a good stand, so solid B tier. This is from part 3, and I think this should be the last one from part 3 if I'm not mistaken. No, there's also Abdul's. Okay, there's a few more from part 3. This one is Strength. Yeah, this was the one where basically it was the orangutan stand where the boat. What was the orangutan's name? Forever. Okay. I would say the stand itself, it's just a boat. It's just a boat that I guess the gorilla controls. It's not really, the episode itself was fine, but the stand itself, it's not really, I'm just going to give it like D/F tier. I don't really care for it too much. This is Foo Fighter stand, and this is the stand when I did the part 6 stand ranking. It was a bit confusing because I wasn't sure exactly how I was supposed to, like, the stand itself, I get, Foo Fighter herself is a colony of plankton that have intelligence. And so every other aspect about her, which is like, I think, her being able to, I think, control stuff with her body, I guess, and like the FF gun and that kind of stuff, I guess it's her ability. I'm just gonna give it D/F tier because I think the character of FF is great, but I do think that just her stand, it's like, I'm not exactly sure what ability it even is. I think it's just like being able to shoot the FF gun and like kind of control stuff like by taking control of it using, I guess, I don't know. It's like really hard to describe what the ability even is. Maybe I can actually look up what the ability here. What's the name of the name? Yeah, it's Foo Fighters, and her name is FF. I think it's also, they're like, again, she's very tied with like her whole character is very tied into her stand itself. So let me see here. FF stand ability. Let's see here. Unique sentient stand from Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. Okay, so maybe, I think the plankton themselves, they're not stands. I think that here stand, and the user, consisting of a colony of intelligent plankton, its primarily abilities include taking over human corpses as disguises, manipulating water, rapid regeneration, and shooting plankton bullets. I'm just going to give it like D/F tier. I think that, again, the character themselves is definitely, I would say, way higher, but the actual ability is just like too not straightforward for me to give it higher than D/F tier. Weather Reporter, I would give this one probably, I think it's a cool ability, being able to control the weather. I don't think it's like utilized to the best of its ability to, it's not like, I feel like I'll give it B tier. I think that it could have been utilized a bit better, honestly, like just being able to control the weather. Like he makes it rain a bit. He like also uses like some air to his advantage in like some fights and stuff. But I don't know, I would have liked to see like some lightning or something, maybe make it hail or something, like that could have been cool. Some snow would have been nice to see, I guess. But so it feels like it could probably be used to a bit of a better extent. But I would say that the extent that it was used, it was pretty cool. The whole snail ability, I still don't really understand, because they said that how is he able to have this other ability? Like they mentioned something about how it's like, how can this be Weather Report's ability if he already has like a stand ability? A stand can have two abilities, which I don't think that's true. I'm pretty sure there have been stands with more than one here, like Naranja's, for example. It's like it's a fighter plane. It's got like bullets. I think it has like a bomb as well. Part of it, it can track CO2, so that's like more than one ability. Your Star Platinum, that like, you know, it's fast, it punches, it has the world. So I don't think it's necessarily the case that a stand can only have one, or even like the act stands like Reverb, or you could say like Kira's stand, like Killer Queen has like multiple different versions of itself. So anyway, I'd give it B tier. I think it's a cool stand, but it could have been used better, I would say. This is, you can't really see her here in the shop, but this is Anastasia's stand, aka Diver Drive, or Diver Down if you are watching the... Wait, no, Diver Down is the sub, but yeah, Diver Drive is what they called it in the dub. I would give it probably... It feels really basic, and it feels like a stand that we've probably seen before, but basically the ability is that it can phase into stuff and kind of rearrange the objects that it phases into. So I guess to an extent, it's kind of similar to Crazy Diamond. I would give it probably like... I give it B tier. Actually, I do think there are some good uses where it's like he uses it to disguise his face. I think he uses it to like block some damage that like Jojo takes towards the end. So overall, I would say it was a B tier stand. I thought it looks pretty cool. I do like the color scheme of like the cyan and like the pink/purple, whatever color that is. I can't really tell. I think it kind of looks more like purple to me, but I'm not good with color. So White Snake, I don't know. The ability is basically he can take memory discs and stand discs, which I guess is it's like fine. I guess it's a unique, powerful ability. I like the actual like design of it. The design doesn't look too bad, I would say. It's pretty good design, I would say. But yeah, the whole ability is just basically it can take like memory discs and stand discs. That's it. But besides that, like the stand itself, like I guess punches and like he used a gun at some point, which I guess it's kind of cool to see a stand use a gun. But actual like stand itself is not really. It's not really that. I don't know. Like the stand itself, like it's not even the final. Like Poochie ends up using other stands as well, so. The actual stand itself, I would just give like, I'll go C tier. It's another stand that like kind of talks, where it's like, anytime a stand like kind of has a personality of its own, I guess that's kind of cool. Like for example, your King Crimson sometimes, or Diablo, like sometimes I guess talks through his stands, as well as like Reverb Act 3, I think Reverb Act 3 talks like on his own without Koichi needing to talk through him. So yeah, I would probably say, yeah, I'll just give him like C tier, I guess. Next is Sea Moon. I like Sea Moon. I would give... Honestly, I'll go C. I'll go C for Sea Moon. I think it's like a cool stand. Like visually, it looks very menacing, I would say. I think the ability itself to basically kind of invert objects, or basically it's like he would punch, I think, Jolene's hand, for example, and their hand would like kind of like distort to like turn it inside out. So I think that is a pretty cool ability, I would say. And the only thing is that he feels way too weak, and even say like in the actual episode itself that it's like a weak stand because it was like just born or something like that, and so it's not at its like final form. I think maybe Made in Heaven is its final form. I'm not really sure how it works with like Poochie stands, where it's like I guess White Snake turned into Sea Moon and then Sea Moon turned into Made in Heaven. Something like that. But yeah, I give it C tier. We'll go C for Sea Moon. Made in Heaven. We are going to give this one a solid S tier, just for like the speed. Just I think it's cool. It's another time ability, one where it speeds up all the time. Okay, you know what? No, I'm going to give it A tier because it can't, for two reasons. Number one, it can't specifically choose what it speeds up. It's an all or nothing situation, which it's still very cool. Like when he himself is like kind of moving extremely fast, I think that is great. So the use in the episode was good. The ability itself is also very cool. It would be a bit cooler if you could choose what to speed up instead of just like speeding up all the time at once, which I guess it affects everything except for like living organisms. And the other thing is that it gets defeated, I feel like, way too easily for like an ability that is as OP as it is. Ultimately, Emporio manages to defeat him with like a really easy method of just like filling the room that they're in with O3, which is, I think, I don't know, like pure oxygen, something like that. And so it feels like a very easy way that he was defeated. And I feel like he could have just used his ability to kind of, speed up again, move really fast, and just like kill Emporio before he could do anything. So I'll give him A tier. It's still a very cool ability, but it feels like a slight bit of like wasted potential. It's also like here with the World and King Crimson, we got to see a bit more of. Even like Killer Queen, we got to see a lot more of compared to Made in Heaven, which I think we saw. What was it? I think a total of like probably 3 episodes we saw its use, maybe, where I think here there was 2. The final 3 episodes were Made in Heaven Part 1, Made in Heaven Part 2, and then It's a Wonderful World, I think it was called. So it was used probably, I'm assuming, in all 3 episodes, and so. But something like the World, King Crimson, as well as like Killer Queen, they were used like a lot more, I would say. So we did not have enough time with it, which I would have liked to see more of. But yeah, this is Goo Dolls, I think it's called. Let's see here. Yeah, Goo Dolls. I would give it probably. Did we finish part 5, by the way? No, okay, we still have. I think it's called Sanctuary, so I don't really think I need the. Let me just check here. I'll check, and then we can close that tab. Maybe it'll make it lagless. Oasis or Sanctuary. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna close this because, right, that's the last of the part 5 stands. Okay, yeah, so we can close that. Oh yeah, I should also close this. That is probably also making it run a bit slower. Anyway, yeah, Goo dolls, I would give D/F here. This is the same as Tiny Feet, where, okay, yeah, I just closed the part 5 ones, but yeah, Small Feet, Tiny Feet, whatever it's called. The stand that just, it's the same thing where it just basically shrinks people, and then Gwes uses it to like put people in these like stuffed animal doll things. So yeah, it visually looks creepy. The ability itself is boring. It's just shrinking people. It's a rip-off of the stand from part 5. So it's just, yeah, a lot of reasons I don't like it. So yeah, this one is called Manhattan Transfer. This one, it basically just like sensed movements around it, mostly just like airflow. And then John Gallier, I think his name was like John Gallier. John Gallier, yeah, he would use it to kind of deflect. He would shoot like rounds, and then he used the stand to deflect the bullets, like ricochet it off the stand in order to hit his targets. So the use was fine. The stand itself is not the most interesting. I'll give it like C tier, I'll say. So next is Highway to Hell. This one, I like the use of it. I think the stand ability, it's kind of cool, I guess, where it's like basically the user Xander something. What was the name? Highway to Hell. Thunder McQueen. That wasn't his name. I'm pretty, no, that, his name, I remember, I did the character ranking. His name was like Xander something. Highway to Hell stand user. I'm pretty sure it was Xander something, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it was Thunder McQueen. Let's hear. So then who's Xander? Am I misremembering? What if I do Jojo part 6? Maybe I'm thinking one of like the security guards or something. Jojo part 6. Xander? Let's see here, maybe. It seems you're referring to Thunder McQueen. Sometimes it's with similar sounding name. What? Okay. Wait. No. I'm not crazy. You got it here. I'm looking this up on Anime Planet because I'm gonna. Stone Ocean. It was from part 1, I think. Or part 2. I think it was probably from part 1. It wasn't from part 1, though. It was from part 2. Let me see here. Yeah, Xander McQueen. I'm not going crazy. Okay, so maybe, okay, you know, I'm assuming Anime Planet just like gets it wrong sometimes. So yeah, I remember also in part 2, there was like a lot of names that it didn't get completely right. So anyway, the stand itself is basically like Thunder, whatever his name is, tries to hurt himself, and the effect would also affect Hermes as well, or whoever I guess he chooses to use it on. So Hermes ends up getting, like, she almost dies because like Thunder or Xander, whatever his name is, tries to like kill himself in multiple instances. So I would say the episode was good. The stand ability is also like cool, I guess, and so I would give it probably, I'll go B tier. Yeah, I would say B tier. Marilyn Manson, I really like this episode. This is one of my favorite from Stone Ocean, and the ability itself is also very cool. I would give it a solid A tier. I think that it was, yeah, I don't know, I have to move some of these around. I think, you know what, just because it's like very difficult, I'm going to just, this one time, I don't usually do this for tier lists, but because there are just like a lot that kind of blend together for JoJo, I'm going to group in the S and A tiers because I think that it is just going to make things easier for me, because I really just am struggling to decide which are in which, I would say. So yeah, in this, I normally don't do this, but I'm going to do it in this case. So we'll move it. Okay, wait, didn't mean to, I could have probably just put the 3 in the top tier instead of the bottom tier, and then moved it up. So here, delete the row, and yeah, okay, we're gonna say S/A tier. No, A tier. There we go. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, and then at the end we'll do side style, and so I think that's just gonna be better. So where did I say? Yeah, Marilyn Manson. I think it was great. I like the ability of basically like, it's actually kind of similar to Darby's ability, where basically like if Darby would win a match of gambling, then he would take the soul of whoever he beats. And Marilyn Manson is basically if the user wins the bet, or if Jolene or whoever what was her name? Mary, something like that. Miroshon. Yeah, Miroshon. So if she would win the bet, or I guess if Jolene or FF lose the bet, then they would have to give up something of like equal value to what they were betting. So like they bet $1,000 eventually. I think at some point I forgot, but it was, I think like they couldn't pay it up. They lost one of the bets, and so Hermes, she ended up like having to give up like a liver or something like that to cover the cost, I guess. So yeah, I would say that it was, yeah, great episode. Love the ability as well. So definitely, I don't want to say S/A because a lot of YouTube videos, they end up like saying SA as like a shortened version of like something that I don't really want to start talking about. So I'm just going to call it A/S tier. So I don't know. I don't know if I should censor it because like I'm pretty sure the reason that they say SA is in order to like kind of make sure that they don't get demonetized. So I don't know if you can get demonetized for saying it. So I'm just gonna we're just gonna call it A/S tier. Anyway, Abdal's Magician Red. Right, it's called Magician Red. Oh yeah, we're done with part 6 by the way, so we can close that as well. Magician Red, I think it's called. Yeah. So this one, it's a basic fire ability. It's not anything to, I'll give it C tier. It's like, it's very much just, he uses fire and that's it. Like there's nothing more to it than that. It's a very basic fire ability. It's cool, I guess. The use in the episodes are fine, I would say, so C tier. This is Jeb or Geb, something like that. I keep forgetting this one's name. Geb or Jeb, I don't know how to say that, but I would give it probably, I like the use of it in the episode, and the ability itself is like cool, I guess, where it's like just water that he controls. It's way better than Aqua Necklace, I would say, from part 4. I would give it like, I like the user as well. Like I like the battle, but part of it is just for the user, like being blind and stuff. So I'll give this an itself C tier, I'll say. Okay, final 2, we have Sanctuary, aka Oasis. I would give this one D/F tier. I don't really care for it. It's just basically the ability is to be able to swim through the ground. One Piece did it better, I guess, with Senor Pink, and I just, yeah, the ability was not really one of my favorites. The episode itself, I just didn't really like the Chocolata Secco episode. It just didn't work for me too much, so yeah, I would say D/F tier. And then finally, The Lovers, I would give this one A/S tier because I think that this episode was great. I loved it, the whole thing with basically Dan of Steel not trolling, but like basically just abusing Jotaro the entire episode, and Jotaro couldn't do anything because if he hurt him, then Joseph would end up getting hurt as well. So yeah, very good episode, very cool ability where basically he can like basically make it so if he takes damage, then someone else, that whoever he decides takes damage like as well, but like tenfold, something like that. So yeah, we will do side style, not all of these, we will do 4, but I don't even think we'll do for the, I don't think we'll do for the B tiers because yeah, that just seems like it's going to take a while. So, but we will do for the A/S tiers. So I will say that, by the way, again, you can also check out all the previous stand rankings I did for all the parts. And then I might just, you can see like maybe where they rank there. It might be slightly different than where they rank here, but yeah, anyway, so least favorite one here, I would say is probably, I don't know, these are all really good. I'll go mostly based on pure instinct. We'll go like here, Beach Boy, then Hanged Man, then we'll say, wait, Beach Boy, Hanged Man, Judgment, then we'll say, I don't know, Zenyatta's, I guess, Dan of Steel, Darby, then we'll go with, here, No Math I should rate lower, No Math I would rate like, below Hangman, I would say. Then we will go with probably, we'll go with the Hand. Heaven's Door, maybe? Yeah, we'll go Heaven's Door. Then we'll say, whatever was, I forgot the name of this one, Betha, I think. Bastet, yeah, Bastet. Then we'll say probably Killer Queen. Okay, then this top row, we'll go with probably Made in Heaven, no, we're gonna go Stone Free, then Made in Heaven, then Star Platinum. Actually, I think Stone Free, I would put it probably like below, probably above Heaven's Door, we'll say. And then we will go with probably, okay, these last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we'll say Oingo Boingo. Then we'll go with, ooh, these are all really good ones. Okay, we'll go Tony's. Then Marilyn Manson, Jailhouse Rock. Well, I don't know. These are like really close to each other. I don't know which is better, Jailhouse Rock or Marilyn Manson. I think I think I like Marilyn Manson a bit more, I would say. Then we'll go with, okay, last 4. These are my favorites. I would go Cheap Trick, then Metallica probably, and then I would say, yeah, probably King Crimson and then The World. I think just ultimately when it comes to time abilities, I just love them too much, I would say. So yeah, the Made in Heaven, I guess, is not a top tier though, but yeah, definitely my favorite ones are probably King Crimson and The World. They're just 2 really cool time abilities of being able to stop time or being able to jump forward in time and avoid any like attacks against you. It's just, I think they're great. So honestly, yeah, all these A/S tier, they're good. You could probably switch them around and I wouldn't disagree. And yeah, I'm not gonna bother for the B tiers. It's just gonna take too long and it's gonna be too difficult to compare them, I would say. So but yeah, this is my ranking of all of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure stands. And so yeah, we will update this tier list when eventually at some point, hopefully within the next, like, how long did Stone Ocean air? Stone Ocean aired between, like, I think it started in 2021 or like 2020. Actually, I want to see here. When did Stone Ocean start and let's see here. Okay, no, not the actual manga. Here, the anime starting on December 1st, 2021 and concluding December 1st, 2022. Okay, so hopefully that means that it, like Steel Ball Run, it won't take more than a year. But actually, how long did part 4 take, actually? I know that we're kind of going over time here with this ranking, but now I'm just curious. When did Stardust Crusader, I was going to say like part 3. Stardust Crusaders start and end, because that's the longest part, so I'm actually interested. Here, anime, here, anime, 2020, okay, 2014, April 5th of 2014, June 20th. Okay, so a bit more than a year. Okay, so hopefully Steel Ball Run, hopefully it'll conclude like before. I mean, I wouldn't mind it going on for a while. I don't want to like, I want to see it. Like it hasn't really, like they've only released like the first date and that's it. So hopefully, like, I don't know, before 2028, we'll be able to update this ranking with the stands from Steel Ball Run, so that'll be fun. So yeah, anyway, so that is pretty much all there is to it. So if you have any recommendations, any shows, movies, video game stories, anime, manga, web series, anything that you want me to review or rank or compare rankings, it does not have to be video related, it could be anything. Leave it in the comments, I will maybe possibly check it out. But that said, that is pretty much all there is to it, so let's look at that.